Remember when this was the best delivery method for music? Remember when this was the best delivery method for supplements? Every industry evolves and improves with new breakthroughs in science and technology. Here at Numi, we've used a proprietary technology to solve an issue that's been around since nutritional supplementation began: the problem of absorption. So many of today's supplements are less effective due to their inability to be absorbed naturally by the body. Using our own proprietary hydrostat nano delivery breakthrough, we reduce the particle size of critical nutrients smaller than ever before, allowing them to absorb in your mouth while swishing for 30 seconds or more. Glutathione is your body's master antioxidant. It's responsible for boosting your energy, detoxifying cells, reducing inflammation, and boosting the immune system. If glutathione is so amazing, why have you never heard of it? Because glutathione is extremely fragile, and if taken orally, it will be destroyed via the digestive process, rendering it virtually useless to the body. Until now, NutraSwish applies nanotechnology to achieve maximum absorption. Now, glutathione and other nutrients can be absorbed simply and quickly by swishing in the mouth instead of being destroyed in the stomach. Using this same nanotechnology, we've created the ultimate skincare product, Numi Skin. We've been able to achieve unparalleled absorption for key ingredients, including collagen, hyaluronic acid, and more. Some of the top skin experts in the world work together to create the ultimate blend of skin-enhancing nanonutrients, creating the most amazing before and after results. With our nano solution, you no longer have to wait months to experience the effects of skincare and supplementation. Our customers are noticing a difference within a matter of days. Don't wait to look, feel, and live your best life. A new you starts with Numi.
Hi, welcome back to another Dr. Shante video. This video is basically sharing what I do for general health maintenance. Well, in addition to just eating healthy, I take supplements. I take them habitually. The first supplement on the list is a multivitamin. A good multivitamin from A to zinc. That is what I take. I take it in the form of a hair, skin, and nail vitamin, but a multivitamin is suffice. The next thing is I take omega-3. I don't do the fish oil cap. I do this in a liquid because this is one of the 3 macronutrients that we need, right? We need carbohydrates, proteins, fatty acids. Okay, that's how I do that. In addition to taking a probiotic, I take prebiotics. I may take the prebiotics more frequently than the probiotics, and I can go over later the why to that. And I also take digestive enzymes. Those are the main things I take. Additional supplements that I take a superfood powder, and I have this much of water inside of the bottle before I put like 1 or 2 teaspoons of that powder in there. I'll make a separate video talking about it because it has so much benefit, but this is also something that I use on a daily basis. The definition of a holistic view is that all aspects of people's needs, psychological, physical, and social, should be taken into account and seen as a whole. Holistic relationships is leading the charge and sparking real conversations that transcend the ordinary, aiming not only to explore life's intricate facets, but also to inspire positive change and cultivate better approaches to every topic we touch. In the realm of love and relationships, marriage and divorce, parenting struggles and single parenting triumphs, toxic relationships, and the liberating journey out of codependence, our goal is crystal clear. We are architects of change, crafting blueprints for better, more holistic relationships that stand the test of time. This isn't just a show or podcast. It is a movement. Each show is an invitation to recalibrate one's perspective, to rethink conventional norms, and to embark on a journey towards a more fulfilling life. From the nuanced dance of co-parenting to the empowering pursuit of self-confidence, we are here to guide you towards positive transformation, empowerment of self and others, setting goals, building legacies, and collecting fortune with purpose. Holistic relationships is more than a show, it's a philosophy. We navigate the complex terrain of aging gracefully and achieving optimal health and weight loss, shedding light on compatibility in relationships, and imparting wisdom on the art of dating and courtship. Join us as we forge a community committed to positive change, where every conversation is a catalyst for growth, every revelation is a step towards understanding, and every piece of advice is a key to unlocking a more holistic and fulfilling life. Welcome to Holistic Relationships, where the pursuit of better, more meaningful connections begin, and positive change is not just encouraged, but celebrated. Hey people, back with Holistic Relationships, and this topic is about midlife crisis as it relates to vanity. Okay, this is something that we all go through. And when you have the average lifespan being about 75, and of course people we know, some people live to 100, some 80, whatever, I get it. I have an uncle who's 102, like right now, still alive and kicking at 102, so I get it. We're just talking averages, right? And so with an average of 75, then what's midlife? About 30 something, 40, right? And so when you get to those ages, you're thinking, I know I had a hole here. I got like probably 2 or 3 in this one alone. Jeez, maybe I should focus on getting it in there, huh? And so when you're thinking mid 30s, nearly 40, being the midlife crisis as it relates, of course, to vanity and what's the average lifespan nowadays, not biblical days, nowadays, you start to think about those things. And interestingly enough, I'm showcasing a dress I wore when I turned 30. My husband at the time threw this big birthday bash for me in Washington, D.C., and I wore this dress. Now, this is greater than 10 years ago. And I can remember feeling bad, like, oh my God, I'm getting old. At 30, I can remember that and how I felt then. So I know those of us now in this generation, what we must be feeling now. For men and women alike, the grays are real. That salt and pepper look is real. We're stiffer in the knees, stiffer in the hips, stiffer in the back. Okay? Workout recovery time is taking longer. Pounds ain't coming off as easy. This is real. I'm saying let's just have a conversation, because as you're watching this, this is the youngest you'll ever be in your life. For those of you 35 and younger watching, join in, because you will become us as we were once you before. It's inevitable. And as much as it is a blessing, an honor and a privilege to get older, because so many of us don't get to make it here, it's still something to deal with. There is a transition that we need to make in our minds. I should have put some nails on. It's too late now. And I see this dress is going to be a problem. She just gonna keep riding up. See, now you know. My age is revealing. 20-something-year-old Shantae wouldn't have been worried about this dress right now. 30-something-year-old Shantae would not have been worried about this dress right now. You see, this is why I need you all. We have to come together, have the conversations. So I want you guys to join me, share your stories, share your concerns. Just come to the community. Let's talk about it. We're talking midlife crisis as it relates to vanity. I'll see you on the podcast. Bye. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another Holistic Relationships. I am your host, Dr. Shantae. So this is our part 2 to the midlife crisis conversation we had last time. And this part is about vanity, because we're looking at it in 2 different ways. It's pretty much about all of us in the age group that we are in. If you're over 35, life can be a little bit different now, with loss of parents, having children, divorce, loss of children. It's a lot that's happening, and we have a lot more experiences than we did when we were in our youth, when we were in our younger 30s and 20s, where we didn't really experience much life, and so much more is happening. So that is what prompted the discussion. I remember when I first felt it come over my heart, and it was just a verbal journal recording. I just put on not a memo, it was something like a voice recorder. It started with me just venting about it. And that's it. I do remember, though, Holistic Relationships was actually a workshop that was a part of my detox program. The detox program that I have had for over the last 13 years. And once people finished the detox program, we had a workshop that was entitled Holistic Relationships. And that is pretty much, now that you're on this healthier way of living, let's have better, healthier relationships with people. So this show stemmed from that workshop. And the more that I've been through for the last 13 years since the concept of the workshop, I thought about all of those life experiences, and I went, oh, wow, what if I expanded on this? It's going to take more than one workshop to talk about these things. And so now we have Holistic Relationships. So back to the show for today. This is the vanity part of the conversation of midlife crisis as it relates to vanity. Part 1 was about just life and loss and just adjusting. Today is about the vanity part, because we do need to have that conversation. All right, midlife crisis as it relates to vanity. Again, I did one before as it relates to end of life or observing others in your age group, especially those of us in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is a different time for us. And again, this is about as it relates to vanity. And right now I am talking about the homecoming queens, the homecoming kings, the sexy sorority sisters, the sexy fraternity brothers, the ones that were on the spotlight in your day, so desirable, highly coveted, regardless if you were a Greek or not. I was just using that as an example. if you were someone that was in beauty pageants. Maybe you were Miss Arkansas or Miss Nebraska, or Miss Universe or something. You were a top model. You were an actress or an actor with high sex appeal. You were on someone's magazine as the sexiest person alive, and now you're aging. Now you're getting older, and now the midlife crisis as it pertains to your vanity. And the thing in life, and I always like to say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So we'll start there first, okay? Put that on the shelf, and I'm going to move on to say that there are some people, because not everybody likes the same thing, but there are some people in this world that are just so beautiful and handsome, and they're just attracted to the masses. And it's not just a little trait that they have that only this person have, like their ears or something, but genuinely attracted to the entire population. You just have those type of people out there, highly desired people. I'm not trying to say that I am on the level global. I've never been on anyone's magazine. I've never been a model. I haven't done it, but I have been someone within my own space as a woman where I've gone through my majority of my life being told that I was pretty. It's just an experience that I've had. And I feel that I was going through, and I couldn't articulate it at first, but then I realized, oh my God, you're going through a midlife crisis. And it doesn't have to have anything to do with health necessarily. This is now to do with the other part of that. And most of us who are considered by standards of average, some of us, what I'm trying to say is that some of us that are considered an average person, and that was attractive to some, but not everyone. I'm sorry, I was trying to find a word for how I want to articulate that. But then there's also those other people who were not considered very attractive at all. So their experiences through their lives, and when I'm speaking of it, I would think that they would have something to do with the transition, but it's hard to say that. But I do welcome anyone if they're in that category and they're not afraid to step forward to share some light on there, what the sentiment is on that, and what is their sentiment about that. But as someone that's considered a pretty person, this is my take on as you're gaining years, especially from women. And then, with men, they can still grab it as they get older and still be considered sexy, but it still doesn't mean that the man themselves doesn't go through something mentally, that there's not an insecurity with that transition. And every man has used that just for men, or at least I should say majority of them. Maybe they thought about it, they contemplated it, but the whole idea of gray, the salt and pepper, deciding to go bald because their hairline was receding or they were getting bald at the top or something like that. That has happened to everyone. Just in the same for women. Maybe we're looking at sagging skin. And of course, we've got children, things like that. And it has contributed to that. But now we're feeling some kind of way about aging. So this is what the topic is about. This is what the conversation is about. And regardless if it's the health midlife crisis or the vanity midlife crisis, we're living in a society where the average lifespan goes to 75 on average. Now, any people chime in saying that some people live to 80, 90, or 100. Yeah. I have an uncle that right now that's 102, maybe 103, but he's an exception and not the rule. My own father passed away at 61, which is just a little over half the age of that person. But we were just saying mathematically, average lifespan. That means that to To get an average of 75, mathematically, it has to go a little bit over there in order to get to the average of 75. It's not called majority. It's called average. So if the lifespan average is 75, then yeah, 37 could be considered midlife. Instead of bad 40s, anywhere in the 40s, anywhere in the 50s, for sure. You are feeling that, oh my God, I am not 25. Some of us start thinking about that sooner than others. But what are we thinking about? So this is the whole point of bringing it in. So it doesn't matter if you're just a universally beautiful person, the average person, or the person that people didn't find generally attractive at all. And again, I always say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. There's always someone for everyone. But even in each of those instances, guess what? We aged. And we all felt in it some way. And we were used to feeling it. And the reason why I'm bringing it back to the people who were used to it, that were really attractive, is because now you're going through something. You're going through something that you're not used to, because you're used to the attention from the youth and how you were. Now you're aging, and that attention is sort of there, but now there's younger models out there, and they're grabbing the attention, and you're over here like, oh my God, because you're not younger you anymore. And the more attention that you had, I feel like it's the harder the transition is for you in your midlife. And people respond to that in so many different ways. But this is just to shed some light on the topic. When you used to get so much attention, and now you're kind of looked at as meh. You're like, what? You want to still know if you got it, doing all kinds of things, because we want to feel love, acceptance, and validated. We want to feel desirable. And a person that's had to experience their own life, and they're aging, oh my God, it's quite the mind job. At least for those who weren't so used to so much attention, theoretically, I don't know if it's true or not, theoretically, if you're not used to it, how can you miss something you never had? That's why I say that. How can you miss something you never had? It's quite the feeling. So for those who feel me, those who know what I'm talking about, you've either lived it, you're going through it. I can remember when I was like 4, 5, every time my mother would take me somewhere, I remember people that, oh, she's so pretty, she's as a child. So, and not just saying it because I was a child and being nice to my mom or me, or, but, me being genuinely an attractive person. And so to experience that most of my life, and I find myself now doing the little things, going the extra mile with the facials and things to tighten the skin, to what can I do naturally, finding ways to kind of be cute and to be somewhat of I don't want to evolve in a way. I don't want to be a caricature of myself, my former self. I do want to evolve in a way that's graceful, gradual, a gradual transition as best as I can, because I do care about how I look. I always have. So part of this is we're all responding to this in so many different ways. It really pushed me to move forward in my why for the detox program. Doing that more. Is there anything else I wanted to add to that? I do know what I wanted to add with that. With the So sorry for my network interruption. Sorry. I'm back. What I want to add to this conversation is by inviting you all to share your experiences, share some of the things you did to cope with the transition, to cope with the mental acceptance. The fact that you know that you're not that young 20-something-year-old, young 30-something-year-old, because we are talking about once you hit 35 and you're upper 30s and your 40s, when you can start to feel, and you even start to feel like you're back then. So I'm inviting everyone to share some of the things, because I mentioned what I did earlier, for example, with the facials. That was for response. And we respond differently to this, but I noticed that I amped up on it a little bit more than I did ever in life as a response, being concerned about my face, being concerned about what it would look like, and not wanting to be a caricature of my former self, but to evolve gracefully with the beauty of this part of my life. And trying to find what that looks like as opposed to what it was in the past, instead of trying to hold on to the past. So that's what my journey has been. And I welcome you all to share your experience, your journey, whatever ideas you have, because the whole point of this, the whole point of having the vanity topic is for the young people who are going to be coming behind us. What can we give them? What type of advice can we give them to help them cope with what is coming, what is inevitable? If you're fortunate enough to be able to still age and walk this earth, you don't leave here right away, that you're going to be here for a little while. What can we give them? And not only what can we give them, but how do we soothe each other, where we're in this new place in our lives? It's a new place. And I don't know that people in prior generations talked to us about it or told us that how this was going to go. With mental health and depression, these things, these are real. They're real in society. And so at least with these type of community conversations, community forums, places where we can come, and even if you're not getting on the stage and sharing your experience per se, say you're not doing that, you at least have the platform that's here where you can come and see other people have to say, to see what other people felt, to see what they did, to see how they coped with it. So I see this as a ministry for all of us to deal with it, because we've dealt with it on some level. Now, if you've never thought about aging or your mortality, or it's never crossed your mind, God bless you. But the rest of us, some of us, we do think about it, and it can be quite the mind job. So the whole point of this conversation, the whole point of this topic is to get through it together and to share coping mechanism, because it's all about growth. It's all about self-care, all of the things that holistic relationships stand for, having the conversations so that we can walk out of this with better perspectives, better outcomes, and more fulfilling lives. I thank you all for joining. I will see you in the next Holistic Relationships.